What's up? It's Lance. I'm back with another interview. Today we have Michael Maiorano. He just graduated from South Medford High School in Medford, Oregon. He's going to be attending Gonzaga next year, and he actually ran in Arcadia, that 3,200. That was absolutely stacked. He got sixth and ran 842.92. He was moving. He was runner-up in both 3K and the 15 in the Oregon State meet this year for the track and field, which was in Hayward, which I still think is awesome that the high school meet is in Hayward for state. And he ran the Brooks PR meet. He ran the 32 again and ran 852.85 and placed second. So how's your day been, Michael? How has summer training been going?
It's been good. Kind of been a little, I don't know, Brooks was pretty late in the year, compared to what I'm used to. So took a little time off and then just kind of been easy running, and then almost a month from the end of my season. And now I think it's time to start getting serious if I want to make the national team and go from appearing in these high school races to being on the NCAA national level. And so I'm really excited for that. And yeah, just really out in nature, 24/7. And I think that's for kids like us that run and just want to appreciate, the blessings we have. I don't think there's better places to do that. So really, really excited about that.
What got you into your running? What got you your start?
It's kind of a long story, but I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in Kansas, and I lived there for 8 or 9 years, and I consider it home now. This July marks 10 years that I've been in Oregon, and so I love Oregon. I don't think there's a better place for me to live, but part of me is always going to have that tie to Kansas. And so it was 2011, 2012, there was a big earthquake in Haiti. And just with our church, we were always pretty active with Haiti, Dominican Republic. And I woke up in our little town, our house in Hayes, Kansas. And my mom was bawling her eyes out at the dinner table. And so I was 8-year-old me was what's going on? And just kind of trying to be there for my mom, but being really confused. And she said there was a huge earthquake. I forget the magnitude, but there was a big earthquake in Haiti. And that really sucked. It was already impoverished, and this just put it over the top. This was a really tough place to live. And throughout the aftermath of the earthquake, there was a lot of funding that needed to be put toward it. But one thing that kind of was put on my mom's heart was there were a lot of single women that had kids, and they wanted to be able to have their children and then deliver them. And a lot of these women needed to take care of their kids, but not only did they need to take care of these kids in this third world country, but they also had to, they didn't have to, they wanted to. They're I saw the work that these nurses and the OBGYNs did when I was having a kid. So now I want to go to school, which is not super popular in a country like Haiti, and be learn about medicine, and I want to be an OBGYN too. But obviously medical school, even in a third world country, isn't cheap at all. And so they had to go from Haiti, and they had to travel across the border to the Dominican Republic to go to the school. And they had to do all this while taking care of baby boys and baby girls. So me and my mom, no one in my family's ever run before. And so my mom wanted to do a fundraiser, a half marathon, just to in our church community and just in the community. And it's really gotten a lot of traction throughout the years, just to raise money for these women. And the Heartline Ministries group that's helping a lot of parents in Haiti. And so I was yeah, I want to do that. And it wasn't a whole lot of insane running. It was really hard to me, but looking back, 2-hour half marathons don't sound that hard. But nonetheless, it was obviously I wanted to help other people, I guess, even as an 8-year-old. And I feel there's just this connotation that helping other people isn't a direct help to you, but that's definitely not true, because now I've found the thing in the world that I'm passionate about throughout just this bizarre experience. And so yeah, kind of an unorthodox story. And I'm really grateful for my mom and everybody giving me the opportunity. She's been to Haiti to visit all these women and stuff, and I just think it's pretty pretty big blessing, and I'm super grateful for that.
So what does your team environment look like at South Medford?
My team environment is like, let's see, I've been running with the same guys since 8th grade, freshman year, and everybody on the team is pretty like dedicated, like not to just the running part, but also like really dedicated to family life and really dedicated to school. Like our top 5 guys, we're all really close. We all have like the same GPA, and yeah, really dedicated to our families. And I think a big thing is just that we always like held each other accountable. Not like our training varied, like especially with me like staying healthy for all 4 years more or less, and some guys like going through really big injuries. So we held each other accountable for what we could do, and that consisted of like stretching and doing all the little stuff, the routine after every run, even if we're at like a trailhead and we don't want to get on the ground and get dirty. But we held each other accountable. And my coach is pretty hands off, but he provides a lot of resources for us, and I'm really grateful for that. And I couldn't really ask. Like South Medford definitely isn't like these powerhouse programs. I know you've talked to a lot of the coaches in the Portland area, and there's different teams across the country that you just hear the name of the high school and you're like, they've been a powerhouse for a while. That's definitely not my school, but I feel like at this point there's been a lot of guys who come to South Medford that have really sucked at running, and then throughout the 4 years there, they've become pretty good. Maybe not all of them on a national level, but nonetheless, like the improvement is like kind of linear, but like exponential throughout the years, and people improve. And it's we have a lot of trails, and we try and get out there almost every day, and couldn't really ask for anything better.
So what are some of the easy ways that you connect with your team? You said go on trail runs and kind of in the off season. What are some of the ways that you connect with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, we like hang out like outside of practice a lot. Like we do stuff together. We like go on dates together. We go like trail runs every day, more or less. And then we're in the same classes together. Like when there's like a test we have to study for, like an AP test or something, like everybody's on the same page. And then I think in the off season, it's just like, hey, we're going to go camping up in the mountains for a few days. Like everybody's welcome. Like we're going to kind of grind and then enjoy, like live in the moment when we're up there. And I think Southern Oregon's a really beautiful place. And some of my friends more than others like spending their gas money in other ways. But we get up to the mountains and find, just the other day, we like, I had a trail race on Saturday morning up at like 7,000 feet. But then the night before, we were out till like super late checking out this fire lookout, like an hour and a half up in the mountains. And that was like one of the most raw beauty. And I live in a city of like 100,000 people or so. So it's not small, but it's not huge. But like 30 minutes and you can just be to a place where there's no sign of civilization. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And we just get close. Probably like, I think we mostly just get close through the outdoor aspect, and then just like grinding, whether it's academically or athletically, just we're always on the same page.
So what are some of the ways that you include everyone in your team, whether it's not in your top 7 or whatever friend group that you're in? What are some of the ways that you get every single person on board?
Yeah, it's like not everybody on the team runs the same mileage, and not everybody on the team like maybe lifts or travels to these huge meets. But everybody on the team, every run, it's like the same workout more or less. Like sometimes I modify it to add on a little longer, but we all have the same workout schedule. Like there's a lot of guys that don't go to like powerhouse high schools that are trained by like pro coaches, I feel like. And that's really cool. Like I'm friends with a lot of those guys, and that's a really awesome opportunity. But like if you're trained by a coach outside your high school, it has to put up this barrier of like you not training with the kids on your team. So even though like we're all doing different workouts, I'm running the same workouts more or less. And just like this like long, like 45-minute routine after every run we do, everybody's doing the same thing. And like, I think maybe I've gotten a little competitive over the years as like a team captain. And it's like, if we're doing like core and somebody's not doing it, it's like, I don't yell, but I like raise my voice a little, and it's like, okay, guys, like we're not going to stop until everybody's doing this. And so, yeah, however big our team is, during COVID, it was diminished a little, but I don't know, maybe like 30, 40 people are all doing like the same thing after every run, before every run, all the warming up and stretching. And yeah, on bus rides and stuff, we're all cool. Like I said, like I go to school with all these kids, and yeah, so it's not like I can like ghost somebody that's I'm not super close with in terms of like running with them every day, because I have class with them and we hang out outside of practice. So yeah, pretty cool.
So what is your guys' team numbers look like? Our trend here is we've gone down since COVID. Has your guys'
Yeah.
gone up, stayed the same?
It's gone. I think it's kind of stayed the same for the men's side. I know our girls team, like I was talking about, our like top 5 guys or so, like top 5 to 7 dudes for cross country are really close, and a lot of us were seniors, so that's kind of a bummer. But so our guys team, our core has stayed really strong, and we've gotten better, and we've probably stayed the same in terms of numbers, but girls has gone a little bit down. But altogether, it's a lot better than like 2020, like summer, fall, when in Oregon, you know, we had to race in masks up until like a year ago, and that was kind of crazy. And yeah, altogether, it's kind of, I think we're getting some more girls. I've been at a couple of the summer practices when I've been in town this summer, and even though like our core has kind of graduated, like it's still cool. And right now it looks like some kids that are maybe having fun with it, which is really good, especially at a young age. Like obviously when I was in 8th grade, I was started to ramp it up, and I'd say you were probably a little bit quicker than me, but I think both of us took it pretty seriously. And then I took it maybe a little too seriously at times. And even like since my junior year, since I kind of got on the next level in like high school running, I've probably like taken it more seriously in certain ways. Like I have to be doing this, but like at races, I'm not like not like I'm talking to everybody. Like the culture in Oregon that makes us so good is just everybody's hanging out with everybody. And yeah, it's really fun. And even though like when the gun goes off, like it's like, you know, you're putting your nuts out there, like you're going for it. There's no bad blood ever, and it's all fun, and like you do it to have fun. Like some people do it for the glory, or because they want to be a better athlete or whatever. But if you're not doing it like for me, I have been given this gift from God, and I want to put it to the best use as possible, because like that's only right. Like I've gained so much from this sport, and so many friends, and so many opportunities in college and high school, and so like literally everything I have in my life almost is like a tribute to running, and I kind of identify with running at times. But if you're not having fun with it, what are you doing? So like if you have like a trail that's like 10 minutes out of town or something, and it like gives you a bunch of joy to go run the trail. If you're like overthinking your race, maybe just talk to some friends, and take it seriously, but like don't forget to have fun with it, because like it's just simply like not worth it to dedicate your life to something for like 4 to 8 to, if you make it a career, like that's really cool, and it's a great opportunity, but it's not worth it if you're not like making the most of it.
I like that, actually. I like that a lot. So what were some of your goals going into the track season?
I think you kind of get that question from like your supporters a lot, like going into a season. And I think there's always like these time goals that are looming in the back of your head. I think every runner kind of knows like that. Someone asking you like in the summer or the winter, what is your goal this year? And I think this winter, and like cross country is kind of irrelevant as you get older, because every course is different. The times don't matter quite as much as the result, the place. And then track season, I kind of knew I wanted to run probably like for the 3K under 8:10, and for the 1500 like 3:48 or so. And then but what I just told people was I want to run fast and take names, and more than anything I wanted to win a state title. And that's been my goal from freshman year, 8th grade. And that's like, when I think about one like culminating goal throughout my running career thus far, it has just kind of resonated around win a state title. So I think that was my big goal, and I came up a little short, but the effort that I put in to get there and the kind of race that I put together, I think is more impressive than anything I could have imagined previously.
Yeah, I mean, you put it all out there. I was able to watch the 3K and run back, and I mean, and the 15, dude. You just put it all on the track. There was nothing left, and the pictures of you on the podium with your boys helping you out, like I think Charlie and Caleb were helping you out. That picture just like gives me chills because like the stories that picture could tell. Because like I have some of those myself where it's like it doesn't look like a lot, but it can say a lot. Like it can write a whole novel.
Yeah, no, it's like my coach at Gonzaga next year, he was roommates with Prefontaine at University of Oregon. And just like hearing that's a kind of cool recruiting tactic. Like if you were roommates with Pre, like that can help recruit some kids. And like if I'm running at Hayward Field and I'm running for a state title in one of the fastest state championship in the history of Oregon, like I'm gonna put myself out there. And I think I really embodied that, like not sacrificing the gift, like making it a pure guts race, and like trying to make everybody bleed and myself bleed to do it. And like, I don't know, I never really saw myself like leading at the bell with like 6 seconds in front of second place and still losing the race. But I had to put myself out there. And I think I like don't have any regrets. I would have done the same thing 10 out of 10 times. And yeah, that's the hardest I've ever gone. So I'm really proud of that effort.
So what did your off-season training look like leading up to the track season?
Yeah, I think I really just have this basic staple every week, and I've had that every week. It's like Monday, long run, and then Monday morning, long run, and then sometimes Monday night, I'll do a little shakeout, and then Tuesday, easy run. Wednesday, I did a lot of hills. We do a lot of workouts that weren't like super, like they didn't look good on paper, maybe because they were on a trail or it was like hilly and the pace was irrelevant. It was like surge up the hill and then come on easy down it. And I think I do a lot of hills. I probably get like 7,000 feet of climbing a week, which is a pretty penny, I'd say. And then, yeah, double Wednesday night and then Thursday, easy run. Friday would be like the big, other than the long run and the hills, like a big workout would be Friday. And we do like I think just like what held the week together and made me feel confident about it was like either a fartlek or a progression run or whatever, like a tempo. But like my freshman year, these like fartlek progression run tempos would be like not that long, like maybe a couple miles. And then by the time I was a junior, senior, they were really getting up there when I was like feeling like lacing up the shoes, like going to work. Like this was like I felt like a pro runner almost. It's like, I'm like super aerobic, time to put the work in. And then Saturday would just be another easy run. And then Sunday, I don't run on Sunday. But I do a lot of cross training as well. So I ride my bike for a couple hours on Sunday or something, and then cap off the week. And yeah, just overtraining is like a big controversy in America, especially with all these young kids getting into the sport early. And overtraining isn't like as big of a deal as people make it, I don't think, because I wasn't doing like, maybe if I was doing like 100 miles a week or something, that'd be like, okay. But like I hung out around 70 or so like the past year. And I didn't really think I was overtraining ever, but sometimes I'd be like, oh, I'm under recovering. Like I'm not going to do the best this week, not because I'm overtraining, because I'm not recovering to what I should be. So I really need to take initiative of that. And yeah, and it's not always perfect. Like you can give the best advice in the world and still like screw up a lot. So yeah, that's just was my build up kind of every season in the winter and the summer. And yeah, I'm still honestly like the program at Gonzaga is really similar. And in the summer, it's just kind of like building that base. And then I didn't like when I ran at Arcadia, I had done like 2 track workouts up until that point. So I ran my PR in the 3,200 off of like 2 track workouts and a whole bunch of like long runs, hills, and like fartleks and stuff. And so I think that's like I think track work is a little overrated sometimes. So I think that aerobic chassis, the base, is like the key to my success, at least on the level of where I'm at, wherever that is in the grand scheme of things.
So when you said 7,000 feet a week, that kind of blew my mind because where I'm at, just to kind of give you a visualization, my dad walked 35 miles one time and got 35 feet of elevation gain.
Dang.
Well, yeah, like we are completely flat. So the flattest run the first time I came out to Oregon, we were in the Florence area. I don't know if you know where
Yeah.
that's at.
Yep.
That was my first run in Oregon, and it was my most elevated run, but it was my flattest run the entire time I was there.
Dang.
So it was kind of a wake up call for me that we are extremely flat. But so what was the training in season looking like for you? Because you said you had only had 2 track workouts, and you said track workouts are overrated. So what are some of the things that you do in season?
I mean, we do a lot of track work as long as the season moves on and stuff. I think it's the same schedule. It's just the Monday long run, Wednesday hills, and then Friday like a beefy workout. And like as the season moves on, maybe it'd be like a shorter long run on Monday, and then Wednesday would be like a short fartlek or some like 400s or something, and then Friday maybe like I did 8 by K and 16 by 400, and those were like some workouts where it's like you finish and you're like that was a big chunk of volume. And yeah, so I did honestly at the last month of the season when you're doing like 200s, 300s, 400s. I just like, I think it's really awesome and I like have fun in the workouts and stuff, but there's something about like the off season where I think a lot of these seasons like cross country and track, I think the state championships are won in the off season and then just played out in the regular season. Like it's really hard to go into a season without a base, and your base is like what gets you basically everything. And yeah, it's like really important to have the speed. I definitely like won't complain if I get a little bit more speed as I get older. But yeah, like honestly, these workouts where you're going at a faster clip, I really just think like I used it as more as just like feeling the pace that I want to run at. Like I got most of the fitness from like just these big these aerobic workouts mixed in with like strides and 200s and stuff. And then everything else is just like fine tuning, I would say.
So, excuse me, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, we'll just move on.
All good.
Here's my question. Do you do hill repeats or do you do your runs with hills included in them?
I don't really do a lot of hill reps. I don't think we've done hill repeats in like a year or 2 years or something. I like if I'll do like an easy run, like an easy hour or so on the trails, and then I'll do like 4 to 8 hill strides, like 15, 20 seconds. So like but those aren't really like supposed to tire you out. They're kind of just to like get your legs moving a little bit, like strides at the end of a run. I think everybody should be doing strides at almost all the end of their easy runs. So yeah, most of my runs are just like hilly, like easy runs, like 1,500 feet of elevation gain in an easy run. Like it really hurt like years ago, but when like COVID happened and I didn't have to go to school, it's like I happened to get my driver's license that summer too. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna drive out to a trail, and after like 2-3 years of doing that, like now it doesn't feel that weird to have 1,500 feet of gain and just an easy run. And then yeah, our like big workouts are just like mental workouts. Like we have a workout that's called like Gehenna and then like Catamount, and that's kind of just like different routes we do where the pace doesn't look super cool because you're in like the tree line and your watch maybe isn't reading the right pace. But you're really just supposed to grind up kind of like at a tempo effort and then go easy on the way down. But I think a lot of that's just like mental preparation, because like at the top of these hills, like some of them are so steep that you're going like 12-minute pace and you're gaining like 300 feet of elevation in like a quarter mile. And yeah, that's kind of just like, I think simulating like you're in a cross country race and you're about to get dropped. Are you going to hang on, or are you going to drop and like be weak? And so yeah, I think just a lot of those, not a lot of hill reps.
So, did your track season go as you had planned? Did it go better than you had planned? What was the thought process once the season had ended?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like I like the track season was awesome. It was maybe like the best season of my life. Like I learned more than I ever did, and I like impressed myself, and I think like I've like had more self-confidence, like just in like saying, like believing in myself and thinking like I am the best runner in the state. I can run with anyone. And like just having like the guts to be able to do some of the things I did, even when the safe option was to kind of maybe sit in the pack. But so like, if you just look on paper and I said, I want to run like 3:48, sub 8:10, and like win state, like I ran 8:10, I ran 3:48. So like right kind of where my goals were. And I didn't win a state title. So it's like, man, was this year a failure? But if you look at all the races that happened and all the experience I had, I think the experience is the most invaluable part. Then like it was the biggest success I've ever had. And I wouldn't like trade it for anything. Like there's parts of me that I want to go back and like give that extra ounce of effort, but like I know in the back of my mind I didn't have that extra ounce of effort. So like no regrets. It was an awesome season. It was a big success. But if you look on paper, it's like, man, like sometimes I hear like little like angel devil on my shoulder. It's like just kind of like doubting me. And I have to remember like there's nothing to doubt. Like you did what you set out to do. And you like at the end of the day, like I think my personality type is like motivated by success a lot. And I think a lot of athletes are. So you want to be like the best at everything. Like I started running because I was like played baseball, played soccer, like a lot of other people. And I recognized like I was good at it, but I would never be like the best. And running was like my best opportunity to be the best at something. And sometimes you're not going to be the best. Like it's really like everybody's going to get beat in a race. You can never be the best. There's always a target on someone else's back. So the most important thing is just to be the best version of yourself. And be the best Lance you can be, or be the best Michael you can be. And yeah, I was the best Michael I could have been this spring. And so I'm satisfied with that.
So, who has been your biggest influence throughout your high school running career?
That's a great question. I think like this cross country season, my season ended at I wanted to win state for cross country. That didn't happen. I got hurt a month before, and I took 3 weeks off, and then I had a week of running before state, and I got 8th, which was like holy, like I was far off. And like during that time, I was just on elliptical on a bike in the pool, like aqua jogging, and this was like the hardest training I've ever done in my life. Like talk about overtraining. Like I thought I could just train as much as I wanted because you can't really get hurt cross training. Like I was doing some kind of physical activity for 6 or 7 hours a day, like 2 hours biking, 2 hours elliptical, 2 hours aqua jogging, and then like an hour of like miscellaneous activities or whatever. Because I couldn't run, and I was like in this really hard place. A lot of stuff was going on in my life, and it was just like the lowest point I've ever been. And during this, like, I don't know if you've ever like stationary biked or elliptical or anything, but like it's just not, the reason people don't do it is because it's not that fun. Like it's boring. You're not out there. So I listened to like Kobe, David Goggins, like Mo. And then there were some other people that were just really awesome inspirations, like my family and my coaches, and specifically my coach at Gonzaga. Like that was a big factor that made me want to go there. And then like, I think some of my favorite runners that kept me motivated were like Connor Mance. I've been friends with him for BYU was my like second school that I think maybe if I grew up in a different faith, I would have gone to BYU for sure. Connor Mance is like super inspiring guy. Like, even though he's like was the best runner in the NCAA, he was like really real and down to earth. And that's like not a thing you get all the time. And growing up in Kansas, there's this guy named Brett Meyer that got like 7th at USA's from the town I lived in Kansas. And he was really cool. I know there's I brought it up before, like the brotherhood in Oregon between like the top however many guys, like it just, the list goes on and on and on. And they were all like I saw them running fast and I was kind of envious, which isn't like a good trait to have, but they like kept we motivated each other when they were hurt as well. And like all these guys know, like the top 5 or 10 or however many, like no matter how good you are, they know that in Oregon, like anybody can beat anybody on whatever day it is, like the top 5 people or top 10 people. I could be 5th in a race or I could win a race. And yeah, everybody's just that close in time. And so I think those are my biggest inspirations. Like my mom and my dad have been supportive, even though they don't know jack squat about running. And I think just my youth pastors and just different people in the community, my friends are like really supportive, even when like I want to take it to another level and they're like content just having fun with it. So yeah, there's like, as you're going to find out, there's going to be a lot of support. And yeah, the high school scene is like, feels like a huge deal at first, and then you really get used to it. And it's like, man, like this is really fun. And these are the best people. Like, I think life is just about like the central building block for life is the relationships you make. And I haven't seen any other sport where you make nearly as many relationships as cross country and track. And the running community is so big, but yet so small at the same time. Like you can have friends everywhere.
So your friend group that I always see, and the ones with Caleb and Aaron and Charlie and Aiden and whoever it may be, reminds me of the one I have here with our middle school guys and whoever it may be with them. And it's a lot of fun getting to look and see what you guys are doing, because it's like, dude, we do that stuff all the time. So it's kind of like you and Caleb. I've told Caleb this as well. You guys have been some of my biggest motivations, just because like you're showing that this stuff is possible. Like my training is going to be the same as yours without the elevation and stuff like that, obviously. But that stuff could be possible. Like we've talked, I want to try to win a state title in high school whenever it may be, but just showing that it's physically possible to do the things that you are doing, and not just you and Caleb. Like there's 10 other guys doing it. Like you guys are insanely fast out there. And I'll still say it, the fastest high school picture ever is the one you guys took in Seattle with everyone at Brooks.
Yeah. Oh, that there's like no doubt. I think I remember you like putting that on social media and like, dang, this kid's spitting facts. But like, dude, like you're faster than me when I was in 8th grade. And I like looked up to these guys, like EJ Holland runs for Oregon and Andy Monroe ran for Stanford, and they were from the Rogue Valley where I'm from. And I looked up to them and I was like, oh my gosh, like I wish I could run the 3,000 in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Like I'll do anything to get there. Like surely that's got to result in a state title. And here I am 4 years later running like in the 8:10s. And like I have the goals. Like when I was 13 years old, I wrote on the back of my door like all the goals I had. And it was like senior year, I wanted to run the 5K in under 16 minutes. I wanted to run the 3K in under 9 minutes and the 1500 in like 4:05. And yeah, those have been blown out of the water. And I like anticipate like only better for you. And like, yeah, it's just crazy. Like when your dreams become reality, and it works out in different ways than you think. Like I never thought I'd be running 8:13 for 3K and not winning a state title, and having all these guys like seconds behind me. And yeah, it's crazy. And the US is only going to keep getting faster. And like the things you're doing with like, just like this outreach within like the charisma of like obviously you're training and you're working really hard and you want to be a great runner. And that's like the most important part, but in terms of like growing the sport and having fun with it, like the charisma of meeting new people and like doing this outreach you're doing is like the most important part for growing the sport. And I think is like the most valuable thing I've learned in the past 12 to 18 months. And yeah, it's really cool. And it's like weird seeing like all these guys and looking up to them and now being like, man, like me and my friends have got to be those guys now. Cause like, that's the role we've stepped into. It's like, that doesn't seem realistic, but yeah, 4 years passes by pretty quick, man.
It does. I actually remember my very first middle school practice. I know it's a lot different, first high school practice and first middle school practice, but we don't have an option before that for running here in my town. So
No,
it's
totally.
definitely a very first blessing for me. But you say US gets faster. 5 high school kids broke 5 this year. That just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's like, and there were so many that were right. Like, there's so many that could have done it in the right race.
There were 7 that were 4 flat. Like,
yeah, no, ridiculous. Like, I thought I ran 4:06 for the full mile, and that was like my first mile this year. So I think I could have maybe chopped. I wasn't sub 4 shape, but I think I could have chopped off a couple more seconds. And I was like, holy crap! Like, this is like the top, like one of the top times Oregon's ever seen, as like one of like Oregon being the fastest state. Like 5 years ago, like you would have been seeing me on like Runner Space and Dicedad and like all this stuff. And now like I got like 5th in the race or whatever. Like, and I'm not even like top whatever in the country. Like there were 9 guys in Oregon that were sub 4:10 in that one race. And like previously that's like a huge deal. And like this doesn't like discredit anything. Like the work that it takes to run that time is still like almost the same. Like it's still so hard. But it's ridiculous. And yeah, so I don't know if sub 4 is the new norm, or I don't think it is. And I certainly don't think it's the shoes. I just think it's like this camaraderie between these people. Like if your friend's working his butt off, like what are you going to do? Slack off? No, you're going to like want to be there with them. And yeah, it's like steel sharpens steel. And yeah, people like, it's just the camaraderie going back and forth. And I know like my friend can beat me and he knows that I could beat him on the given day. So you really have to go for it and make this like your lifestyle. It can't just be a hobby.
Yeah, I had the blessing of being able to watch the Gary Martin and Bernsey sub 4 in the same race at Hoka. That was pretty awesome to watch. It was electric. It was electric.
Yeah, both of those guys are great dudes, and they're really nice, and yeah, they're really pushing forward. Like you don't have to be this like unworldly like character to like push the sport forward, and so they're both good dudes. Oh, one sec. Henry's at the getting his picture taken. Oh, good. Yeah.
But real quick, Gary went through a 153, and I actually thought he was going to do it. I thought he was shattering the record.
That's nuts. I didn't know that. Really?
It was like 152, 153, and like we were
Holy
like,
cheek.
yeah, the Pacers set him for the Allen Webb record because he tried to set it there. Yeah,
that's wild. Yeah,
everyone was going nuts.
Were you in the middle school race?
I was indeed.
Yeah, that looked like a really. If I still lived in Kansas, I would have tried to be there.
Really, really fun.
Yeah, really super cool race. I hope maybe if I need, like, you see these races kind of in the South and Midwest, like in June, like these last chance sub 4 meets like Music City or Festival Miles or whatever. So if I ever get the opportunity to go to one of those, I'm not going to pass it up for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of like what my thought process was after the Outdoor Nationals.
Yeah.
I didn't run really well, but like the day after, like I was really, really bummed out. And because like it felt like I came 2,000 miles for nothing. And then just kind of realizing, hey, you made it here. No, like there was only 60 other kids who did this. And you're in the group as one of the fastest in the US. And just being able to have the experience and the blessing of being able to be there is just awesome. Not only 70 other people can say they made it. So
Yep. And you're
I think
just going to get better.
yeah.
That's kind of how I felt about Brooks. Like, I didn't run terrible. Like, I got second at a big meet, which is awesome, but I wasn't like super happy with how I ran. And but at the end of the day, like, you literally have the opportunity to be at this national caliber race. And like, I don't know about you, but I like saw races like Brooks and NXN and Foot Locker as like races that were really cool, and maybe it was like a dream, but I didn't actually believe in like my heart that I would make it there. Like, it was a long shot. And there I was, and you're going to be at national caliber meets that you have to qualify for, no doubt in my mind. And yeah, that's just wild that you have to like take a step back even after a bad performance and say, hey, I made it to this race. That's like maybe they paid for my travel, or I traveled across the country and I got here and I never thought I'd make it here, or I thought it was like going to be really hard. And so I'm really grateful for the opportunity I had, because this isn't like an opportunity that I got by myself. Like, it's the culmination of your hard work mixed with like your family and your supporters and your coaches and your teammates. And then I believe like all these gifts are given to me by somebody that's just out of this universe, that like is a loving person and created all of this. And yeah, it's like, yeah, so wild. And yeah, there's so many awesome opportunities, and I'm really happy you got the chance to come out to Oregon to see Hayward and check out some of the coast, it sounds like, and maybe some of the mountains. And I think yeah, my first race in Hayward, it's like, I got to get used to this, because hopefully you're going to go back to Nike Outdoor Nationals, and then if all goes to plan and you're having as much fun with it as you are now, then NCAAs and whatever may come, Olympic trials, like everything goes back to Hayward in the US. So yeah, get used to it, man.
It was definitely really enjoyable going back to Hayward again, because I had the blessing of being able to go out for the last day of trials, and I got to see the 1500 final for the guys, which is my favorite event to watch, and Sidney McLaughlin's world record. But I would definitely say it was my favorite race for the 15, but also my least favorite race, because Craig didn't make the team, and the Goose didn't run at all. I was really bummed out about it, but I know I'm getting pretty amped up about Craig Ingles, but like Craig Ingles is I've met him before. He's a really funny guy. He's definitely he's definitely a character. He's definitely human.
Yeah, it's like, how do you say bad things about guys like this? Like the runners that I'm like inspired by, like, they don't always win like national titles or whatever, but like I genuinely cannot like think of like I know people could say bad stuff about me, and I consider myself a pretty decent person, and like there's certain guys I like just can't think of a bad thing to say about them. So yeah, really good dudes. And yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, it's cool how running's small enough to where you can do like stuff like we're doing right now, but also like you see the pros at races, and not only like can you like get their autograph or whatever, but you can like have a conversation with them, maybe go for a run with them sometimes. Like, in what sport, like basketball, football, I feel like it's hard to like get to know the best high school runners, and even harder to get to know like the pros.
That was something that we've talked about for a while. The fact that you can message, let's say Cooper's here, and he has like a 10 times better chance of responding than like Dak Prescott or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, these same caliber of sport, like the same level of popularity in their sport, is just based off of basically what they're doing. And like everyone is human in the running world. And like you said, it's super small. Like I have the ability to talk to some of the best in the world and best in the US right now. So
yeah,
I would definitely say I would never think that it was this easy per se. But yeah, I definitely have a ton of fun.
No, totally. And it's not like anyone's like holier than thou. Like we're all like just chilling. Like not a lot of families are like these like insane running families that like breed their kids from like the day they're born and live in like these mansions or whatever. So it's like we're all humans. We're all like we're all kind of living the same life. Like there's not a lot of people that are way above everybody else. And so yeah, pretty freaking cool for sure.
So I had this question as what was your favorite part of the track season, but now I want to change that to what was your favorite part of high school running?
Oh, that's hard. Uh, Gosh, I think it's just got to be. Uh, my senior year was really fun because I got the opportunity to go to Foot Locker, and then I got the opportunity to go to Brooks, and those were really fun. And those were like awesome experience. I'd say Foot Locker was low key like my favorite event of uh, like 2021 as a whole. And then Brooks was really cool, but I think it's got to come down to just like the Oregon group that we have, like whether it's like 5 guys, 10 guys, 15 guys, depending on the meet, like just crossing the finish line and everybody, or being on the start line, or like, and everybody's there. Like we all like, we're nervous, but like at the same time, like I'm less nervous than I've ever been before. Like we're joking around, we're doing stuff on the weekends. Like, I don't know if I can boil it down to like one point. And like that state 3K was really cool because everybody was there afterwards and before, but like at the same time, like post race, I was blacked out for a long time and I was throwing up everywhere and I was bleeding. Like I threw up on Hayward Field like 5 or 10 times. And then post podium, I was in the medical tent and I was like, I had been like blacked out for like 20 minutes and they like, I woke up to them trying to stitch my knee up and I was like, no, I have another race tomorrow. You're not stitching my knee up. So really hard to boil it down to one event, but this season was really cool. Like the Jesuit mile that it has to be this season, like this senior year. And I want to include my teammates from back home because they've been such a big part, but also like guys that I raced with consistently. Jesuit was really cool. Oregon Relays was really cool under the lights at Hayward. State was really cool. So I think it's just like that moment, wherever it was, when I like was walking out of the tunnel with these guys and I realized like we're like the best that this state has seen. Like this is going to be a dogfight till the end. No one's like going easy. Like everybody's like going balls out the whole way. And I think that was just a culmination of the season. So I don't know if I can boil it down to one experience, but the state meets were fun. The national meets, like, yeah, it's just, yeah, been really cool to meet so many new people, like outside of Oregon, outside of the United States, even like just so many cool people. And yeah, I think that you're going to experience the same thing.
So did you check Hayward Field records for throwing up and blackout all on the same day?
Maybe I might have. I don't know. It was like, it was wild. I was like, the last 5 meters, Caleb, I think passed me with like 5 or 10 meters to go. But the last 3 meters of that race, but I was unconscious before I crossed the finish line. Like,
Oh, so that's why the tumble came right at. Okay.
yeah, like I don't remember that at all. I remember like 50 to go. And then I remember like walking over to the podium and throwing up. And then I remember waking up in the medical tent, and that's about it. So yeah, very, very not too lucid.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to be a part of the Gonzaga program?
Probably like 10. Like I went there because I wanted to be in a brotherhood of guys that enjoy their running and don't have to run on pavement every day, and have a coach that's super amped up. And also because like Gonzaga is a really solid team, like top 15 in the country probably. But I have a chance to make an immediate impact, and I have a chance to like build up the program to where like I'm like a key player in the program and getting better. And yeah, I'd rather be on a team that gets better throughout the 4 or 5 years that I'm there, rather than a team that just is kind of stagnant at where they're at.
So I don't know if you're aware, but we have a girl from our high school that is also going to be attending Gonzaga next year. Her name is
Really?
Ava Knapp. Ava Knapp. I don't know if you know her,
I
but
think I follow you on Instagram.
yeah, she's really, really good friends with Kendall. Actually, she's out in Oregon right now with her. And yeah, she's going to be out there for what, 2 more months? Yeah, we don't know. She's just out there. She's just adventuring. But some of the stuff that she's posted on her Instagram is absolutely beautiful. Like one of them was Mount Hood, and there's like Kendall has like a condo that's right next to like a little pond that's like south of Hood.
Yeah.
And it was like Really, really beautiful.
No, totally. I'm up in the Wallowas right now, which is like
Okay.
North Oregon, and I've seen some really pretty sights, and I'll probably include a few more on social media these next days. But Mount Hood's beautiful, and I'm sure her name's Ava.
Ava Knapp, yeah.
I'll probably get to know her in the fall a little more, and yeah, like I said, small world. So pretty cool how that works out.
So, what were some of the reasons and main reasons you chose Gonzaga?
I think, like I said, the coach was a big deal. Like he was passionate about the thing. Like he's like 70 plus years old, but he's more lively than any coach I ever met. Like the 20, 30-year-old coaches, like they don't have anything on this dude. And I got to run, like if I want to, I run trails. Like part of his training philosophy is like on a day or a long run or whatever. Like you don't have to make it like robotic. Like if you want to go out to the woods for 45 minutes and an hour and a half or 2 hours and just run and like be like spiritual and just run free, like Spokane has that, the outdoor aspect. And then the team is like just a brotherhood of guys that are working together for the common goal. And even after we all graduate and some of us keep running and some of us stop running, we're going to be like lifelong friends. So, and then like academics, like the academics were good. I didn't want to go to a school that was like terrible academically. And like, obviously it helps when you don't have to pay to go to the school. So yeah, that definitely all influenced me more than anything else. And just more than anything, it just felt right. Like I taught lots of schools that were perfect in all those ways, but Gonzaga just felt the best. Like I felt like I belonged there.
Got you. So there's two questions that I like to surprise on my people I interview with, and one of them's a fun one, but one of them gets the people thinking. So
Gotcha.
I'm gonna start with the one that will get you thinking. If you could tell young Michael one thing about running, in running terms, what would you tell young Michael?
Huh. I think I just tell them like anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish. Like at this point, like being an Olympian seems way out there, like not super realistic. But at this point, like how good I am now being an Olympian is less of a stretch than like sixth grade me wanting to be where I am now. Like, so anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish. Like if you believe it wholeheartedly, like there's no reason why you can't. Like, I don't know. There's no reason why you can't do what you want to do. As like obviously like being sensitive to the fact, like if you have an outlying circumstance, but like if you are just doubting yourself because you don't think you're good enough, like just like throw that in the back of your mind. Like you can, Jerry Lindgren, who I think is like the greatest high school athlete of all time across any sport, he said, like, you can be the best. You just have to be willing to put in the work. You just have to be willing to pay for it. Like there's no reason why you can't do it. Like you might not always win the race, but you can outwork everyone. Like there's no reason why you can't outwork everyone if you dedicate yourself to it. And yeah, don't let anybody tell you otherwise, and don't let more importantly, don't let yourself tell you otherwise, because that's going to be the person that criticizes you the most.
So finally, I'm gonna end it off here. What is your favorite dad joke?
Oh my, huh? I don't know. I think I probably like tell my friends a lot of time, like, let's see, favorite dad joke. I don't know. We have a lot of like, have you heard of like anti-jokes? They're like not really funny at all. So I'll just be like, what's red and bad for your teeth? A brick. So yeah, really, really out there. There's like, what did the lawyer say to the other lawyer? We're both lawyers. Like just stupid stuff like that. And like, I don't like every like teenage boy knows the mood you're in, where you're like laughing and having a good time with your friends, like, and you're like all kind of just crazy. And it helps maybe if you have like ADHD or something. But we're just like spitting off these like crazy jokes, and like everybody's like laughing. Even they're not funny at all, but everybody's just like almost crying from laughing, just because like you're in that kind of mood to where it's like midnight or something, and you've been like, yeah, you had like ice cream and everybody's kind of acting crazy.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and hopping on with me. Definitely had some great answers, and I'm glad that you had the ability to come on.
Yeah, thanks for everything, and I appreciate having me on, and best of luck to you. Everybody watching this, don't forget to have fun, and yeah, just whatever you want to do, you can do. So Lance, it's been a pleasure, and we'll keep chatting.
Thank you so much, Michael.
See ya.